Welcome to Thoughts on the Market. I'm Ed Stanley, Morgan Stanley's Head of Thematic Research in Europe. Along with my colleagues bringing you a variety of perspectives, today I'll give you an update on the all-important obesity theme and how it's impacting a wide range of industries. It's Thursday, November the 9th at 2 p.m. in London. GLP-1s, a type of anti-obesity medicine, have been on the market since 2010, but it's taken until 2023 for this theme to really come to life. We believe that GLP-1s will clearly have profound implications over the long term, both on a macro and micro level. Obesity has far-reaching implications for the global economy, as it leads to lost productivity and significant healthcare costs. We estimate the macro impact of obesity at 3.6% of US GDP, with potentially $1.24 trillion in lost productivity indirect costs. Anti-obesity drugs have the potential to address at least some of this economic burden and at a reasonable cost. The micro implications on businesses year to date have seen about a $600 billion swing in market cap. That includes, to the upside, $340 billion for the GLP-1 makers and over $260 billion lost in market value for the stocks that are potentially disrupted. For context, that compares to a total US drug market of $430 billion annually. 2023 saw an impressive surge in investor interest in anti-obesity drugs. Yet, and perhaps surprising to some, based on hashtag and web traffic data we track, consumer interest appears to have waned in recent weeks. We think this notable dip from the peak in activity is driven in part by supply constraints, paused geographic expansion, and curtailed promotional activity. Importantly, though, this fade in initial consumer excitement is occurring at the same time that company transcript mentions of obesity or GLP-1 by non-pharma companies are reaching new highs. This disconnect between Main Street moderation in excitement versus Wall Street's rise in excitement is very typical of short-term hype cycle tops in equity markets, particularly given the current environment of higher interest rates. But even as the initial buzz around obesity drugs is fading back to more moderate levels in the near term, we do believe there will be wide-ranging implications over the long term that are hard to deny. And our global analysts have been all over this on a sector-by-sector basis. First off, we believe that US alcohol beverages per capita will correct due to abnormally high consumption in recent years and longer-term structural challenges such as demographic, health, and wellness. For beer, growing adoption of obesity medication presents an incremental risk factor to consumption, although many of these companies are already working on healthier options. Across packaged foods, patients on anti-obesity medications have been cutting back the most on foods high in sugar and fat, such as confections, baked goods, salty snacks, sugary drinks, and alcohol. Companies with a weight management or better-for-you portfolio appear to be better positioned for here. Within US food retail, we think dollar stores, which target lower-end consumers with outsized exposure to high-calorie foods, will be the most adversely impacted in the context of increased adoption of these drugs. Separately, insulin pump makers should be only minimally impacted, we think, by GLPs by 2027, which suggests that the share price reaction to the downside for these stocks year to date may be materially overdone. Obesity has a direct impact on osteoarthritis, with about twice the prevalence of arthritis in obese versus non-obese patients, a much higher need for arthroplasty with higher BMIs, and obese patients having higher surgical complications. GLP-1 usage could have some complex effects on these ortho stocks. We also see longer-term risk for most of the US and European fast food industries. The same goes for carbonated sugary drinks, and for chocolate lovers out there, the rising GLP-1 adoption could pressure chocolate consumption longer term. But the magnitude of these impacts remains uncertain, as indulgence will still remain a core consumer need even in this new GLP-1 paradigm. All in all, we remain bullish on the anti-obesity drug market, particularly given the staggering 750 million people globally living with obesity. And this continues to be a dynamic space for investors to watch closely. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share thoughts on the market with a friend or a colleague today.
The preceding content is informational only and based on information available when created. It is not an offer or solicitation, nor is it tax or legal advice. It does not consider your financial circumstances and objectives and may not be suitable for you.